Okay, so hello YouTube. So recently I made a video where I explained that this is a monitor stand which has to be hold down so that it does not fall over, and this is a part which I designed so that this holds this monitor stand, and this part is then constrained with the wall behind. Okay, so that this monitor stand does not fall out. Now this assembly I made on a demand, on a comment which I got on a YouTube. Okay, this was a problem with one of my subscribers. So he commented to solve it, and that is how I made this video. Now the problem is that he is not able to keep up with the video, and he had some problem with the drawing, the sketching part. Okay, so I will just solve that part. So I will go into. I have already taken a new file, part file. So this is the part file. So the drawing was somewhat like a plain sketch. I will take line. Okay, then we'll do a circle. Okay, so this circle. Now whenever you are applying constraint, nothing should be selected at first. Now, how you will ensure that nothing is selected at first? You can always press your left click on the blank area outside, or you can press escape key to ensure that nothing is selected. Now, I want this circle, which is moving randomly because it is not constrained, to be vertical with this point. Okay, so that both this point and this point are over a vertical line. Now, how will I be able to do that? So, the very easy thing, first of all, is I will just select the midpoint of this circle, press Ctrl and select this origin point, and then I will be greeted with this pop where I can select the most relevant constraint. For example, here the most relevant constraint is a vertical constraint. So I will select vertical constraint which I want. Okay. Now the another way, suppose if you don't want the constraint to be applied in this way, I will just press Ctrl Z. Now then another way of adding the constraint is here on the upper side. Below the display, you can go to add relation. Now you can select this point, press Ctrl and select this point. And on the left side here, add relation, you will find all the relations. Here I want a vertical relation, and then just click OK. Okay, so now the vertical relation between the circle and the origin point is added. Now, how I can ensure whether the constraint is actually added, how I can visualize, because in the feature tree they don't show the constraint which are applied, because if they show the constraint, then the feature tree will be very large. Okay, so the one way of selecting the constraint is that you can just press onto this point, the midpoint, one left click, and as you left click, you are shown here this green. Okay, if you hover onto that, this it is showing vertical 0.6. Okay, so it is showing that this is a vertical constraint. Now if you want to delete this constraint, so I will left click on the open area, just select the point, and here you know that it is a vertical constraint between this point and this point. So select that constraint and then just press delete on the keyboard. So see, the constraint is again deleted. It can move freely. So again select the point, control press select this point, make vertical. Now the problem with the person who saw the video and was unable to do that was, so this is the line. Now what I want is this line midpoint. I want to be vertical with this point. Okay. So one way of doing is it. So I am unable to select the midpoint of this line. So how will I select? I will just hover onto the line. I'm not pressing any left click, and I will just move on to the lines such like this. And once I come onto the midpoint, there I will click the left click. So I will select first this midpoint. So now only the midpoint is selected. I will press Ctrl and select this point, and then I will make vertical. Okay. So that is how I applied the midpoint relation. Now the problem, the mistake which was the person doing was he was not selecting the midpoint. He was selecting the entire line. Okay. and then he was pressing control and selecting the midpoint and then pressing the vertical constraint. So that is not how it works. I want the midpoint of this line. So I will just hover onto the line, select the midpoint, then I will go to the origin point, control press, select the origin point, and then press on vertical. Okay. Now this line also is not constrained, it is going up and down. Okay. So what I want to do, I want this point, and the origin point to be horizontal in one line. So I'll press control, I will select all the 3 points, and I will press horizontal constraint. So now this line is always in constraint with the origin. Okay. Now it is moving like this also. Why? Because I am not given dimension to this line. So I will just go to smart dimension, select both the line, and wait. So here you need to MMGS again. As switched the units, it threw me out of this sketch. So how I will again re-enter into the sketch. I will just click on sketch and I will click on edit sketch. Okay. So now we will go to smart dimension, select this line. This line, the dimension was 80. Enter. Okay. Then I will also draw a circle here. The dimension was 35. Enter. And now I will just draw two lines. One line which I will make tangent to this. Okay. Second line which I will again make tangent to this. Now sometimes, so see, as I click onto the line, it show what are the relations applied. So here it is showing a tangent relation and a coincident relation. Okay. Again, I will click on this line. Again, it is showing. So these relations are applied over here, the tangent and the coincident. If you want to delete, you select the relation, hit delete. And if you don't want to delete, keep it as it is. Okay. So this is a very important part of SolidWorks. That is the relations part. Okay. Now I want to trim the inside part. So I will go to trim entities, select here power trim the inside part. Then I will go to features extrude. So I'm extruding the outer side, which it by default selected. Here I will choose 10, hit OK. Now I will just reuse the sketch, but the sketch has gone. So how I will get the sketch? I will just go to the feature tree. This is called feature tree. Here I will drop down from the extrude boss base. I will select the sketch. Once I select the sketch, I will again press on to the extrude boss. Now here I will go to the selected counter. Here the sketch is selected. So the sketch I will just do here clear selection. And here onto the selected counter, I will select this inside circle. So I selected the inside circle, and here the dimension, suppose I keep it 180. Okay. So see, 180 it is extruded upper side, and I will hit OK. So this is how the sketch is created. This will definitely take a lot of practice. The SolidWorks for learning SolidWorks or any 3D software, it takes some amount of time, some amount of practice. Okay, I'm also going to make a whole beginner course where I'll explain all these things in details so that the beginners can understand properly and they can follow the tutorial. And I think I made the video with details. This video, I think because I increased the speed, I made it a little fast. That's why uh, you're not able to keep up with the video. But if you slow down the speed of the video and properly follow all the actions, I think you will be able to make the parts. I'm also going to, I already made, I'll just show. So I already made the zip file of all the parts of this assembly, and I will just email it to you. And I will also add the descriptions. I will also add the link of this zip file in the description itself. Okay. And the only part that you have to 3D print is this part, open part. So this is the only part that you have to 3D print. So I think the dimensions as you sent me on email, according to that, that only I have designed this part. Now you wanted this part in HTML format also, so I will show how to convert this file into HTML format. So once you get this zip file, when you will open this zip file, you will find all the parts, the part 1, 2, 3, and the assembly. Okay. So on this part you will open these parts, but these part are into the format of uh, SolidWorks part document, that is SLD PRT. Now if you want this into STL format, what you need to do, you need to open this part in the SolidWorks, then go into as, here to save as, and here in the save as type you select the STL format and select the location wherever you want to save and just hit on save, and the file will be saved in STL format. Once it is saved in STL, or the next format I think is IGS format, right? IGS and STL are the most used format. Then you can open this file in many other 3D softwares like Creo or Fusion 360. Fusion 360 is also very useful, especially for 3D printing. So there you can open the file. Okay. So it's very easy to convert all these parts into STL format. So that's it for this video. I think it has solved your problem. I will add the link of all the parts in the description. The link of the this zip file. Okay. This zip file I will upload it onto the drive. Where the zip file go on? Yes, E. So this zip file I will upload into the drive, and I also emailed it to you, but I will also upload it onto the uh, drive, and I will give the drive link below the description, in the description of the video. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I will also come up with a beginner course. So stay tuned for that. Thanks a lot.